Hi everyone, it's Nicole, and today I'm bringing you my March TBR. So I have 3 readathons that I want to participate in the month of March. The Game of Tomes readathon, which is a continuation from the origin story readathon, that like the little mini round, pre-round that they had back in, oh gosh, I don't remember, November, but it's a Game of Thrones themed readathon. We're not necessarily reading those books, but it's just, based around the series of A Song of Ice and Fire. And that is hosted by Ray over at Bookmark Chronicles, and also Daisha at Mythic Pages, and Robin at Robin Reads. So basically what you do is you pick your house that you want to be a part of, you choose your house, and there are prompts that you follow, and it basically translates, y'all know how readathons work, right? It translates to books that you read. So if you participated in the origin story, you can keep your same house, or you can be a betrayer and change houses based on the path that you followed in the origin story. So when I participated in the origin story, I basically went all over Westeros and Essos, so I can pick any house that I want. But of course, I am going to align myself with House Targaryen. Is anybody surprised? I don't think so. Everybody has a group prompt, and if you are continuing from the origin story, like you participated in origin story and you're continuing on with the main quest, your group prompt is to continue a series. But if you didn't participate in origin story and you're just now picking up, you can do the first book in a series. So you just basically start a series. Since I did participate in origin story, I get to continue a series. And for that one, I'm reading Red Herring Hunt by V.M. Burns. This is book number 2 in the Mystery Bookshop series. I reread book number 1 last year because I do want to continue on with this series. But basically in the first book, our main character, Samantha, her husband has passed away, so she is basically starting over. And she took her husband's death as a sign to basically, life is too short. Do what you want to do. They had always talked about owning a bookshop, so that's what she did. In the first book, she took their savings and she opened a bookshop, and it's just her story continuing. Of course, as in every cozy mystery, there is a murder, and our amateur sleuth, Samantha, is going to find out the whodunit. The next prompt for the Targaryen house is wedding. Read a book featuring an unconventional marriage. So that could be a marriage of convenience, an arranged marriage, anything like that. And for that one, I'm reading Seducing His Secret Wife by Robin Covington. I meant to read this last year when Bethany over at Beautifully Bookish Bethany and Michelle over at Thor Wants Another Letter, they did the Indigenous Romance read-along, and this was one of the books. I've been wanting to read it for a while. I just didn't get a chance to, so I'm really excited to be reading this. So basically what happens in this book is our 2 main characters, Justin and Serena, they find themselves in Vegas, and what happens in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay in Vegas because they end up getting married. And it's a little bit more complicated because that's his best friend's little sister. So many great tropes, right? I love it. I love it. I cannot wait to read this. The next prompt is called Drogo. Read a book with stars, sun, or moon on either the book cover itself or in the title. And for that one, I'm reading Sal and Gabi Break the Universe by Carlos Hernandez. Bree and I are reading this for our Uncle Rick's read-along, so that's the next book that we're reading in the month of March. Our live show is going to be on the 17th, and I don't have a physical copy of this, but based on the title, Breaks the Universe, and I think like in the top part of the book cover, there's like some stars and stuff on there. I hope there is, because honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't. The next prompt is Assassin. Read a book featuring murder, and for that one I'm going to be reading Like a Sister by Kelly Garrett. This is a thriller from this author. She has written cozy mysteries in the past, the Detective by Day series, and so this is her first thriller, which I'm very, very excited. So in this book we follow Lena Scott, and her half-sister was found dead in a playground the morning after her 25th birthday, and the police, everybody is just quick to judge it as an overdose and kind of just sweep it on the rug, move on with their day. But Lena really feels like that's not the case. Her sister would never do this. And she's very upset that the police are not doing their jobs and doing everything they can to find out what happened to her half-sister. So she takes it upon herself and she is looking into her sister's murder. So this is a thriller mystery. It's not a cozy mystery. So I really predict that there's going to be more suspenseful, more thrilling aspects, more high stakes. than you would find in a traditional cozy mystery, but I'm really excited to read it. I really love the Detective by Day series, so I'm excited to try this. The next prompt is Dothraki, read a book from a culture that is not your own. And for that one, I'm reading Dragon Pearl by Yoon Ha Lee. And this is another book that we're reading for the Uncle Rick's read-along. Our live stream for this book is going to be on March 31st, so definitely keep an eye out for that. Brie and I are very excited to be reading this one. It's one of Brie's most anticipated reads, so I'm very excited. So that is it for the Game of Tomes readathon. The next readathon I'm going to be participating in is March Mystery Madness. And there are no prompts this round. There's just the theme, which is 2 by 2. And you can just use your imagination however you feel you want to interpret that 2 by 2. I chose to interpret it reading the second book in a series that I have just kind of abandoned. You don't really see a lot of like standalone cozy mysteries, but when I read cozies, I typically read the first one and kind of forget about that whole series, which is a shame. So I decided to just pick a couple series that I've kind of forgotten about and read the second book in that series. And the first one is going to be Red Herring Hunt by V.M. Burns. Again, like I said, last year I reread the first one in anticipating to continue on with the series, but I just never did last year, so I'm hoping to get to this one and continue on. Next one I'm going to be reading is Deadbolt by Juliet Blackwell. This is book number 2 in the Haunted Home Renovation series, so it's a little bit of a paranormal cozy, which I really, really like. The first book was okay. I think I gave it like 3.5 stars, but I'm definitely going to give it another chance. If book 2 is meh, I might just give up on the series, but I really, really enjoy these covers because it has a dog. Usually with cozies, you see cats like everywhere, but I like my cozies with dogs, so hopefully we'll get a little bit of spookiness. The next one I'm going to be reading is This Old Homicide by Kate Carlisle. This is book number 2 in the Fixer Upper mystery series. I read book number 1 a long time ago, and maybe I should reread book number 1 because do I remember anything that happened in book number 1? No, but I do remember liking it. Thanks. I don't know. I'll figure it out. And the last book that I'm going to be reading for March Mystery Madness is Bewitched, Bothered, and Biscotti. This is book number 2 in the Magical Bakery mystery. I really, really enjoyed these covers. The first book was called Brownies and Broomsticks. Super, super cute. Love them, love them, love them. All the titles, all the covers, it's just super cute. Again, another paranormal cozy. In the first one, our main character, Katie, she just finds out that she's a witch. So the first one was basically her finding that out and kind of getting used to that. This one, she's kind of coming into her own. She's learning more spells and everything. So that's always exciting. But I'm excited to be continuing along with this series. So those are all the books that I'm going to be reading for March Mystery Madness. The next readathon I'm going to be participating in is Middle Grade March. And last year I didn't really follow along with the prompts. This year I am. So the prompts are listed over here. I have my little spreadsheet. So the first prompt is to read a book with 5 or more words in the title. I can double up and read Sal and Gabi Break the Universe, or I can read Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. I'm going to be reading both of these books next month. One is for the Uncle Rick read-along. This is going to be for my personal book club. We meet every other Wednesday. When is this? The 16th? I think we're going to be talking about this the 16th of March. I'm not entirely sure. Editing me will put the actual date, but we'll be talking about this. We'll have a live show, and I'll link the live streams in the description box so you can set reminders if you want to discuss them. But I'm really, really excited to be reading both of these books. The next prompt is to read a book with an orphan main character, and for that one I'm going to be reading The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgins Burnett. I remember reading this when I was in grade school or high school, I can't really remember. Also, I've seen the movie, like the old movie, a long time ago. Don't really remember a whole lot about it. I remember one of the main characters, of course, is an orphan, but the other one, he's like sick and she like pushes him around the garden in his wheelchair. That's literally all I remember. So I saw this really pretty cover at a used bookstore. So it is a classic. Definitely you need to be reading more of those. But yeah, I hardly read any classics last year, so hopefully get more of those read. The next prompt is to read a contemporary book, and that one I'm going to be reading Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate DiCamillo. I think that's how you say it. She wrote The Tale of Despero, and I know this is a movie. I really, again, do not know a whole lot about this. I know there's a dog in it. I hope it doesn't make me cry. I have a feeling it's going to make me cry. But I know in the movie adaptation, it was the same little girl that was in Bridge to Terabithia, so maybe that's just clouding my judgment. I don't even know how I have a copy of this book. I don't actively remember buying this. And I want to read more physically owned books, so here we are. The next prompt is read a book set in Asia or featuring an Asian main character. And for that one, I'm doubling up and reading Dragon Pearl by Yoon-ha Lee. The main character is Korean, I believe. And the last prompt is to read a book that's older than you. And for that one, I'm doubling up and reading The Secret Garden. This was published back in 1911. Definitely a whole lot older than me. So that is it. Those are all the books that I'm going to be hoping to read in the month of March. Let me know what readathons you're participating in and what books you're reading, or if you've read any of these books and which one I should start first. Go ahead and like my video if you did, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on all the social media platforms. The links will be in the description box below. We'll see you next time, avid readers.